Hello guys, what's going on? It's Physics here, back for another Planet Coaster video, and I was very excited to bring you this, because I think it turned out well. It's actually going to be kind of a mini episode because we didn't do a lot, but this is kind of opening up to live streaming this series possibly a little bit, which I think would be pretty cool. And honestly, we just kind of spend this whole episode decorating. So that might be good, but that wasn't a proper intro. How's it going, guys? So thank you for clicking this video. I do appreciate it. And today in episode 3 of Planet Coaster, we're gonna be setting out. I had this idea. It was kind of my idea, kind of someone else's idea. I was talking to my friend and showing him the park, and he said that it would be cool if there were like little sections of park, and I noticed that it was gonna have like pirate sections and things like that. And so I said, well, I can do it in a cool way where we have a bunch of lakes and rivers, which we did with the first island already. And so I'm just gonna kind of I said kind of like 3 times there. Kind of continue that, I guess, going throughout the whole park as we get it finished. And this episode should give you an idea. So I just did the river making off camera because it's honestly really boring and takes quite a long time, a lot longer than you'd expect actually. But I thought it would be cool to get things started on like one side, and this actually did take a long time. I usually record for like 30 minutes, and the few things we got to do today took about 35. So it was pretty surprising to me how long decorating things like that can take, and it's not the most fun thing to me, but I love seeing it when it's done. So I know last time the bridge kind of looked weird without supports, and I did fix that problem. We added supports later, just at the end, some little ones, and it's still not the best thing, but I've never done like a custom building before, except like I said in the last episode, the little top to my recreation of the Blue Streak ride. Um, but so yeah, I wanted to find a calm Ferris wheel, and I know we have the Star Wheel, but that rocks back and forth, and I didn't really want that. But the Ferris wheel I thought would just be a good touch for this island, and maybe we can move it because the hotel is right there, or the first hotel, I should say. We are probably gonna have a fairy tale section with featuring the Castle Hotel, which I think might be cool. So I just wanted to decorate the queue a little bit. It was pretty short, so there wasn't much I could really do. But I just wanted to add some rocks and things. And I pretty much this episode just decorate the island. Um, and we get this Ferris wheel in here, and this was a first time actually trying to decorate and make something nice besides the entrance that we did. But taking a break from coaster making, I just decided to kind of go with making it look actually good. So it was very helpful when I found the path widener because I didn't actually know you could make it that wide, such as 10 meters, which is what I made it, and I probably would make it wider if I could. But I did my best to add a bunch of paths, so there's tons of space for lots of shops and scenery and things like that. And if you do, I should mention, if you do want to go check out the roller coaster that you're seeing that we're kind of building all this around, go check out the previous episode where we did actually build it, and there's a POV at the end if you're interested. I went with the Parkside Cafe, and we actually use a lot of Planet Coaster stuff because I just want to keep it like modern, because I feel like that fits the roller coaster. Um, I feel like it fits the roller coaster pretty well, and that just being because of the modern theme. I actually am gonna cut a little bit out of us making the little bench area for picnic benches because it took quite a bit of time to kind of get it done, and so did the fencing around it. But that's not a problem. We will get faster and adapt. And I thought these bushes would look good. Um, and it was actually cool that I could color them because I wanted two different colors in different areas. But this was quite a problem here of them floating around everywhere. Uh, but we were able to fix it and kind of merge them together, which worked out great. And I still have a terrible eye. I have to go to different angles, so that took a while. But I thought the path actually ended up looking really nice because if I were to show the footage, it's like 2 or 3 minutes of me just trying to mess around with it. And I probably should have done flattened terrain because it was a problem when I was making the fence. I think I did change it, but it was a problem when I was making the fence that it would dip down into the river area, and the fence wouldn't fit or look good because part of it would be floating in the air. So I just fixed that and added some little trees. I didn't want huge shade trees because we can add umbrellas and pavilions to the little benches that we add here. So the idea was this would be an outside seating area for the Parkside Cafe, and maybe we can, like I said last time, add some fountains to the water or make it rough water to kind of make it look a little better. This little bench in the middle area, I was a little leery about putting there because I knew I didn't want to have two. Um, but well, I guess they don't have thoughts. I was just thinking, would you want to sit here where everyone's, I don't know, walking by? And I was gonna do rope fence again, but I figured since this island was gonna be more of a, I guess I should say, modern island, I messed around with a couple different ones and eventually went with the low iron fence because I think that looks pretty nice, and I didn't want anything to be too actually like closing in, like you were being locked in there, rather just an idea of where the boundary was meant to be with the area. And of course, we don't want anyone walking and falling into the water. I know you can't do that in this game, but of course, the fence just looks really nice. So we had to add a bunch of that. And I know the lighting just changed there. I actually had to go take a phone call in the middle of recording this, but it's not a big deal because we were able to fix it. And I did my best with the 4 meter fence because I just wanted to kind of get it done. But eventually I had to settle with going to the 2 meter fence just to get this turn right. Most of it was alright, but eventually I noticed the path was dipping down and had to get rid of a bunch of things, which was not ideal, obviously, but we did our best with what we had, and I think I eventually figured out that the terrain flattened. I really hope I did, um, because okay, I did finally. I was a bit worried that I just kept going with that. I can't remember because I did this a couple hours ago, and I'm trying to do. I don't know. I really enjoy making this series, and I enjoy what it is. So it's a little hard to kind of take breaks, and I don't know if you guys would like to see this for the daily uploads, which I'm trying to get daily uploads. That would be ideal. So we can get people in here watching me do this stuff. So I fixed our little problem, which does leave a lot of open space, and I'll probably just do off camera or maybe a short episode or something of just cutting it back and pushing it down and making the river wider because I kind of think that's the only solution right there is to just make the river wider. But yeah, we were able to finish it pretty quickly, and I was actually really happy because a lot of times I have to overlap fence to get it to fit, but that just magically worked out. It worked out perfectly. And so I was going to add also tile or floor or pavement or whatever you want to call it going underneath the whole of the little Planet Coaster Cafe, just so it wasn't sitting on the ground. But that didn't work, obviously. Because it was connecting to path, and I didn't want people thinking they could walk there and walk through the building. So I eventually just did that, and I was a bit curious how long the path could go, but I couldn't fit that in. So I just left the back empty, and just added some trees there because I thought that would look the nicest, especially since I found the super tall ones that we can do. So that was pretty nice and good, and I actually moved that. Probably should have just done Control Z, but I wanted to get it a little closer to the front, and I forgot to add fence in front of that as well, which we need to do. And like I said, I'll probably do most of this stuff on a live stream. I was just trying to get you guys the basic idea of what was gonna go on. And if you'd like to see this in videos, then I can do videos, but I feel like a live stream would be a lot better because then I'm not limited, and then there's not, a ton of videos of me building and just doing stuff. So I don't think that that's ideally what would go on. And here I was trying to connect it to the restaurant so people would know that seating was there, but I eventually gave up and found the little perk menu right there. And I wanted to add one more thing, so I did my best to add something in the middle of that little circle path we have in the middle of the coaster. That hotel also looks really nice, I think, and I just wanted to kind of make a mental note that we have to add that somewhere. And I don't know if the best thing here is to overload this place with shops, and I think in between the tracks, it's probably like this big open area. I just wanted to add a couple things, but it's probably best to, in other parts, just add scenery next to it, like trees and rocks and things, and just dot them about everywhere and kind of make it look built into the park. Because a lot of times I have roller coasters that are just floating around doing their own thing and the queue's boring. But I really want this one to be part of the park. And I try and avoid this as much as I can while recording, but there was a staff problem or something, and I wish there was a way to turn off the staff or something for this free roaming park. There has to be. At least there's not ride breakdowns. I will mess with that. But yeah. So I didn't know if anything in here would go, and it was just I saw earlier a bunch of planet themed shops, and I thought it was a perfect place for them to all go, and I just wanted to use a different path. I think I decided to use a different path. I don't know if I did or not. No, it doesn't look like I did, but I just wanted to connect all these up and add like a big. I kind of wish there was. I think it would be a very nice and helpful and cool feature if there was a way to set a boundary for a path or something and just fill it in. But it is nice with these open areas because it reminds me to add decoration, or also I would probably fill the whole park with path and it would be boring and empty with just a bunch of things like that. So I added a bunch of benches, actual benches. I know I was calling the picnic tables benches, but I felt that it just looked nice there and added a couple bins dotted about. Maybe those two next to each other wasn't the best idea, but we're getting it all worked out. And like I said, I finally figured out why I did. So many shops don't have vendors. Because they're taking breaks and close it. And I don't know. So I just try and avoid with this park all of the guest happiness things, staff happiness, things that you have to deal with normally. I just wanted to set that all aside, and just build a dream park because I wasn't really focusing on managing. I do off camera separately a park that I do just manage myself. But all that aside, thank you for watching. This about brings our episode to a close. These are just supports that I didn't use. But thank you for watching. So if you'd like to, please share, and goodbye.